here you saw when Israel was very unpopular and France was about to hold a conference, co-hosting a conference with the Saudis the following week, which was supposed to lead to the establishment of a Palestinian state. And so there was a lot of tension between France and Israel about that, and with the West as a whole over Gaza and the entire Palestinian issue. And then Israel goes and out of the blue attacks Iran. Now, it wasn't entirely out of the blue because there are a whole variety of very good reasons that it happened now, but nobody was expecting it on Friday the 13th or any time in June or in this period of time. And again, you see the Western world, at least the leaders, strongly supporting Israel. You saw the G7 coming out with a very supportive statement because everyone recognizes that Iran is a different story. It's an extremist actor. It is, or it does pose an existential threat to Israel, a severe threat to Gulf security, and because of oil to international security. Iran's a different story.
Iran, what I saw, at least until recently, 2023, is supposed to have the #1 GDP in the MENA region. I mean, aren't they providing the staples for the region for food? Like, don't they provide certain types of services besides oil that supply the region? Or are they simply tied to oil? What are they actually contributing?
Oil is their biggest export. Used to be something like 80%, but they've brought that down because they have tried to diversify the economy somewhat in recent years. But Iran has been under American sanctions ever since 1996. Then it was under international sanctions for a number of years. But even after the U.S. left the 2015 nuclear deal in 2018, Trump withdrew at the time, and the sanctions basically came apart, but not the American sanctions. And pretty much all of the Western companies have been, even if from a European perspective, they could go and trade with Iran, they were afraid of the secondary effect of American sanctions. And so they haven't. And the Iranian economy is in a shambles because of the sanctions and simply because of gross economic mismanagement by Iran itself.
You're about as close as we can get to a profit right now on the topic. So let's just try to find out what's going to happen
You know
and
the
what's going to be
expression, the gift of prophecy ended in the land of Israel 2,000 years ago, right?
Yeah, well, it's either you or I'm gonna have to ask GPT, and I much prefer to ask you. So
Okay.
please, the experts got to tell me there's going to become a huge vacuum in the region, right? Or there already is one that's growing. So how does the vacuum get filled, practically speaking, by the other nations in the region?
Okay, well, first of all, the war is maybe still in its early stages. I don't know how long it's going to last. We don't know yet what the real outcome is. We had a very successful opening day or two. We've had a successful ongoing campaign, but we don't know what the long-term effect of this is. If the war were to end today, then we could say that maybe Israel postponed the nuclear program by about a half a year and significantly downgraded the ballistic missile arsenal, but they still have a very significant piece of it. Now, so that's where we are today. Now, fast forward a couple of few weeks from now, does this turn into an Israel bombs? Well, Israel succeeds in destroying Fordo, which is the main nuclear site, and everyone thinks that Israel does not have the capability to do this one because it's a big mountain that the Iranians built a many, many meters thick reinforced concrete bunker in which they built an enrichment plant. That everybody thinks that only the U.S. can take that out.